Rocker223Rock asks, who's better, Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo? I like all of them quite a bit, but if I had to choose a favorite, I'm going to say what a lot of people are probably going to be frustrated with, Microsoft. I like Microsoft quite a bit. Everybody's like, oh my god, down with Microsoft! I'm like, they've given us quite a bit. I mean, yeah, they've stolen a lot, but they still gave us quite a bit. Next question is from TheWiseStoner, a non-gaming related question. Have you ever eaten alligator? I think I have. I was told it was alligator, and I think I was 5 or 6 when I was given just a small piece of it. I couldn't really tell it from any other kind of meat, though, so it didn't seem very different. Maybe it was how it was cooked. I don't know. It seems like you can take pretty ordinary meat and cook it really well, and it's going to taste incredible. Or you can take some really rare, exquisite meat and then not cook it very well and just make it taste like normal stuff. So I think the cooking is more important than the meat. I should just ask you if you've eaten many exotic foods. Not really. I have tried to avoid quite a few exotic foods. Like escargot and blue cheese. I mean, I don't even like blue cheese. I kind of like simple foods, but I'm a little worldly in my foods, but they're usually the mainstream accepted stuff of other countries. So, kind of standard, I'd think. Dix7R or DX7R asks several questions. Since I'm in the computer science field, have you ever messed with or heard of Linux or any other Unix-like operating systems? I've actually had to write a Linux operating system. It was, of course, relatively simplistic. So yes, I have messed with them and heard of them. And if you ever have, what is your opinion on them? I think that Linux is nifty, but I really, really don't like the user interface. I think that I really like that Linux, a lot of the great things that Linux comes out with, a lot of the innovation, migrates its way into things like Windows and Macintosh and stuff like that. So, it's funny, all the different competitions, like Mac had that first, and then Windows says, Windows had that first. I'm like, you're both wrong. Linux had that years before either of you. So I think that Linux is really kind of cool in that they can test out all of these different interfaces and see if people like it. So that's one thing I really like about Linux. But to actually use it, God, I would hope to avoid Linux as much as possible. Everybody says, but once you get used to using the interpreter and the typing and all the stuff like that, and it's so much faster than using Windows computers. I'm like, oh God. I'm sorry, I like a mouse. I really do. Mice are my friend. So yeah, the strengths and or weaknesses. The strengths are innovation, and the weaknesses are interface. Do you think they have the potential to become contenders against Microsoft Windows as general user desktop operating system? I think if they need to do two things to be competition, they need to, one, improve the interface, make it so that you never have to go into a command prompt ever for anything, ever. Or at least make it a dialog box, never a command prompt. Make it possible to do that. And then the next thing I think that they need to do is, if they want to compete, they should start already doing a lot of research and development, if they haven't already, on microkernel technology. So they need to, or I guess that's microkernel infrastructure is a better word for it, not technology, but microkernel infrastructure. Make an operating system blindingly fast and as secure as heck, and work from there and compete with them on their very same level. Samo asks, what do you think of the Fallout MMO RPG that is rumored to be in the works by Interplay? I really hope they don't screw it up. I want a targeting system. Much like they have, I'm not talking VATS, I'm not actually talking VATS, I'm talking about being able to put your crosshair on someone, clicking, and it actually hitting them because of that. So I really hope that they do that in an MMORPG, because there really aren't games out there that have targeting systems, and the reason they don't have games out there with targeting systems is because people that aren't accurate that aren't skillful in those sort of things are going to get slaughtered. You're going to have a level 1 killing level 15s just because their accuracy and their rapidness of travel to point or whatever, the amount of time it takes your mouse cursor to get to something. Also, it'll probably make a lot of console gamers get really frustrated because people with mice are just going to beat them every time. So I still want that, though. So they're not going to get as much of a market share if they have a targeting system, but I just hope that they do it really well and they convince some of the core gamers out there to play the game. Helsing 113 asks, have you played Final Fantasy series, and if what is your favorite? It's a tie between Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 2 was kind of a pathetic storyline, and the actual progression wasn't that interesting, but it has the most incredible leveling system I have ever seen in a game. It is amazing. It is so many levels more profound than anything I've ever seen since or before, and there's not that much before. And Final Fantasy VII has incredible storyline and such depth to it. It's mind-boggling. So both of those are really great. If I had to choose, probably Final Fantasy VII. Abaddon Wins asks, why am I so awesome? I've actually been asked this a few times. I guess it would be previous stimuli, as the behaviorist would believe that everything that I am is based on everything that has happened and everything that is in my genes. Not talking my... Well, that's part of the reason I'm awesome, too, is everything that's in my genes. Oh, okay. Anyway. We're talking both types of genes there. Okay. Hotballer02 asks, I got a question for you because I would like to know what you think. Do you think life imitates art, or does art imitate life? I don't understand how life could imitate art. I think that art imitates life and beyond. I think art can let us see and experience things that the reality will never be able to. I do think that there are things that we are learning in life. For example, what is it? The spin of subatomic particles, tunnel theory, all of these like quantum physics sort of things. A lot of that stuff is shaping our imaginations just as much as art is. So both of those things end up causing a depth in human understanding that is very important to who we are. The next question is, the mysterious Oswald asks, what are your favorite upcoming games in the future? That would probably be things like Need for Speed Shift, The Sims 3, StarCon 2, Diablo 3, no, StarCon 2. StarCon 2's been out for a long time. StarCraft 2. Some of the really big names of games. Those are some of the major ones. The Joey with 03, either that or Vej03Y asks, dude, do you torrent any of your games? Probably if I wasn't Let's Playing, I would be more willing to do torrenting, but I'm trying to kind of give out a good example and getting a lot of games in legit ways. There is a really easy way to do it that doesn't cost a lot of money. I've got a lot of friends that have computer games and console games and stuff like that, and what I do with them is I just give them $10 for the game, and then when I'm done playing it or finish a request set, they give me $10 to give it back to them. So it's I'm purchasing it from them, and then they're purchasing it back. It's a way to do it so you never have to actually spend money on games, but it's very legal. So I'm basically just saying that if you've got a few friends that have games, you don't have to go through illegal purposes to get them for almost no cost.